Hello, I'm Mariah Ramharak and welcome to a brand new episode of In Case You Missed It on SportsMax and CEEN TV. Well, 50 years ago, it was Sir Clive Lloyd at the helm for West Indies in the first ever Cricket World Cup win. Last month, it was Sir Clive again at the helm to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the golden moment at a gala ceremony put on by CWI and WIPA in Barbados. Today, he joins us on In Case You Missed It to chat all things cricket. Sir Clive, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. How are you doing?
I'm fine, my dear. For an old fellow, I'm doing quite well.
All right. Well, Sir Clive, how much did you enjoy that 50th anniversary celebrations? It was put on by CWI and WIPA to honor the West Indies' first World Cup win. Did you have a good time?
I must tell you that it was a marvelous occasion, and I must praise I can't praise the West Indies board enough for what they did. It was a memorable evening, and everything went swimmingly well, as they say. And yes, it was great to see some of my old colleagues, and it was a marvelous occasion.
Do you think the administration took too long to honor the 1975 World Cup winning team? Y'all should have been honored before. What say you?
Well, really and truly, yes, it might have been much better earlier, and I suppose a couple of the guys would still be alive, because the two of them have died. A couple of them are not so well, but it's better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never, for sure. When we think about that win in 1975, and I was not around, so I'm going to have to ask you, what remains, memorable for you? What remains stuck in your brain about that 1975 win?
Well, I think the thing is that we had a lot of young players, a lot of them in their early 20s, and now learning the game of such. And we weren't the favorites. Australia was before us, England, Pakistan, New Zealand. They all had a lot of seasoned professionals. But I think when we realized we probably will win we can win the trophy, when we played Pakistan, and we had the last pair was in with 64 runs to get, and Derek Murray and Andy Roberts saw us home. And at one stage, Andy Roberts was stranded in the middle of the wicket, but the guy didn't collect the ball well, and he got home. And there was my accountant who lived in the area, Gordon Andrews. He came in, knocked on the door, and came in and said, "Clive, your team is 66-1 to win this game, and I've put some money on you, on your team, and I'm sure you will win. And here's a case of pale ale." So I kept drinking a pale ale every 2 overs. So you could tell I was quite inebriated by the time the game was over, and we were all hugging and jumping up, and because we knew if we had lost that game, we would not have qualified.
Yes.
And I think we realized our cricket came of age at that time. And we didn't lose a game until the third World Cup.
That's impressive.
So we played. It was amazing.
Yeah, especially, Sir Clive, especially because of what's happening now, I mean, I wish I was there in that time.
Well, yes, I think we're going through a bit of a rough time, and we'll have to try and work it out in the sense that we were lucky in the sense that most of our players were playing county cricket. And so they had that experience. And our domestic cricket, inter-island cricket, was much, much stronger. You had Wes Hall, Charlie Griffith, Lance Gibbs, Lester King and one or two others, Charlie Steers, Pat Legault, and the Barbadians had, you know, a collection of fast bowlers. So, and Trinidad had a lot of spinners. So, if you made runs in those tournaments, in any year of such during the Shell Shield, your all-round cricket was taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, so when you made 100 in Shell Shield, it was like a test 100 because some of the teams had 5 or 6 test players.
Yeah, so Sir Clive, I have to ask you, because you spoke about the county cricket, you felt as if that improved the players' game, right? Because all of you all were playing the county cricket together and all of that?
Yeah. Oh, yes, because in 1 week you could have batted 5 times or 6 times.
Okay, as opposed to now.
And if you did that in the West Indies, that means your Shell Shield season was over. Not only that, you played 14 days straight and traveling quite a lot too, and playing on different surfaces and conditions. So it really gave you that a professional outlook when you played county cricket.
Right, understand. And I want to go back now because we were talking also about the 1975 win. And, you know, we have so many questions for you because luckily you were a part of it, right? Can you remember the discussion, Sir Clive, while you were batting between Rohan Kanhai and yourself? Because you went on to score a century. So I would want to know, based on your personality, like, what were you saying to him?
Oh, well, we were talking in between, saying that the two of us have got to stay here and see it through, and we have to, if we can bat most of the overs, we'll get a total that we can win. And I grew up watching Rohan, so we have pretty good rapport, and he was doing extremely well, and I felt confident because the ball was hit in the middle of the bat, and we had the support. We had a lot of support. And in those days, the ordinary cricketer or cricket enthusiast could get a ticket. Oh,
wow. Those things have really changed from then to now, Sir Clive?
Yeah, so there were people on the ground, sitting on the grass near the boundary, and it was filled with West Indians. So we were quite happy with them cheering us on. So we felt at home.
Okay, well, that was good, and I'm sure that helped with, of course, you know, the team going on to win. I have to ask you, though, what was different about your 1975 World Cup winning team versus the 1979 winning team? What was the difference between those two teams?
Well, there wasn't a lot of difference. I think we had a couple of new faces. We had Michael Holding came into it, Colin Croft, Joel Garner. So we still had a pretty good all-round side.
Yeah. And as you talk about Michael Holding, I remember him in an interview saying when he was asked about, you know, what quality of yours set you apart and contributed to the World Cup win, he said in that interview, Michael Holding, that it was your demeanor. You know, you brought a sense of calmness. Would you agree with that? Would you say that was the quality that helped the team to win? Or would you say...
Well, yes, I don't panic as some people would. The guy said I would have been a good poker player. They wouldn't know if I had a good hand or not. I don't show that emotion.
Okay.
Or you know, so, and I kept them calm and not I'm not, you know, being sort of worried about situations. When something arises, if it's a bit tough, you ride it and don't show that, you know, that you're in a tight spot.
But were you ever worried though, secretly?
I was worried against the Pakistanis because I really thought we had gone down, but I tell you that game brought our team together.
Okay.
And most of the guys continued to play towards, you know, the end of their careers. So we were a team we were together. We were happy and we're playing for one another, and we realized how important it was for us to win for the West Indian and our enthusiastic supporters.
Yeah. And if you had to describe to me what type of captain you were, what would you say?
Well, yes, I wasn't regimental as such, but I am disciplined sort of person, because I think to be successful, you have to have discipline. And I've always said that if you want to gain altitude, you must have the right attitude. And the point is that we had the right attitude. Although they were young fellas, you had to make sure that that they were following all the rules. We trained together, we ate together, we discussed all the stuff, and then the curfew was important because you had to get enough rest so that you can perform the next day.
Yeah. And you speak about discipline, right? And I think this is a perfect question to ask you after that comment. You were described as a powerful batsman. You know, everybody used to talk about the fact that you could hit the ball very, very hard. Talk to me, Sir Clive, about the work that went into you becoming so good at your craft. You know, was there a special brand of bat that you use maybe? You know, what was the secret?
No, the point is that I was always still very tall and slim, and I could hit the ball. There's no doubt about that. We used to play. We used to bat in 1 yard in our backyard and bowl in somebody else's yard. So the palings of this sort of got wider and wider. So we more or less had a pretty good field in our yard. And Lance Gibbs, as you know, was my cousin.
Yeah.
And he'd come and bowl in our yard, and a couple of guys who lived nearby. Colin Wiltshire, he played for Guyana. Roger Harper, he was next door to me. And we had another great cricketer, Robert Christiani. So our street was quite a famous street of such.
Wow.
We had 4 Test cricketers from that street.
I wonder what was special about that street, Sir Clive. What's the name of that street?
And not only that, we had, it's Crown Street, it was called.
Oh.
Crown Street, Queenstown. And we produced a president from that street also.
So I know
President Granger.
I know what I need to do. If I want to produce some greats, I need to move into that street.
Yes, it was. It sort of, we tend to churn out some of the best people
love
in Guyana.
I really, really love that. You know, I listen to you and you talk with so much pride and you sound so happy to talk about your team and everything. And now it's sad that I have to ask you this now, because all of these great things happened before, Sir Clive, but now, you know, we've seen a big decline when it comes to West Indies cricket, and a lot of those supporters, you know, feel really hurt. When did that decline in West Indies cricket happen? Because you would have been watching. When did that happen?
I think we didn't. I think we didn't prepare for the future. It's like if you are president of a country or prime minister, you know, unless you have a plan, people wouldn't vote for you. And I think that we probably are a bit lax in the manner of not preparing for the future.
Yeah.
We thought people, you know, it'll just churn out cricketers just like, no, but you have to plan. You have to have a plan for the future, and you know, getting the young people involved, showing them exactly what we did, not only in my time, but before.
Yes.
We have a very rich future. And from 5 million people, I think some of the things I can tell you, we played 29 test matches without losing.
I know.
11 successive test match wins. And if you, at one stage, if you were 17 years old, you would not have seen the West Indies lose. So that comes from planning and I think that we were we didn't plan for the future. Now we have to do that. Get the ex-players involved. Let them pass on some of the knowledge that they acquired over the years to our young players. Our young cricketers don't speak to our ex-cricketers. I think that we need to do that.
Yeah, maybe
so that they understand.
Yeah, so Clive,
Sorry.
maybe they're just, intimidated, or maybe they don't feel like they could come to you. So hopefully CWI could put that in place, where there's that line of communication between you and the ex-players. But, one of the things they say, right, and this, I'm tired of hearing this. So now you're going to tell me about it. Everybody keeps saying to me that Test cricket is dying, right? Every time you turn on your TV, they're talking about Test cricket is dying, especially when teams lose. And where do you stand on that topic?
Well, it's quite obvious that people in the West Indies, they were accustomed for us winning. We have to get older players in there, touring with the team, and giving them that extra. We got to be stronger. We got to be fitter. We got to be looking at more past films, and we have to not think that T20 cricket is the best thing to play. As far as I'm concerned, I want to see Test cricket continue. I want to see our women playing more Test cricket.
Yes.
Because the longer game helps your shorter game. And I think that, to me, T20 is an exhibition and Test cricket is an examination. I could tell you how good you are by playing a Test match, not in a T20 game. So, to me, we have to try and keep Test cricket. It brings out the best in you, mentally, physically, and that's what it's all about. And I think that we have to think of that if we want to come back into that, into the thick of things.
So, Sir Clive, I'm looking at you now in this interview, and you seem relaxed, just at home, chilling. So I have to ask you about life after cricket. What has that been like for you?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I did quite a lot I was manager for the West Indies cricket team. I was cricket manager for the ICC. I was referee for quite a few years. Yes, I was busy, there's no doubt about that. And I'm sort of winding down of such at the moment.
Did you say a referee as in a football referee?
Well, it's a different situation if you're a referee in the cricket.
Yeah.
You're in charge of everything. You can shut things down if you want.
Oh.
You can fine people. You can suspend people. Make sure that all the rules are followed.
Love that.
And yes, and I liked it actually, because the thing is that this game is, you always say it's not cricket. They never say it's not football or tennis. So cricket has got a special place where discipline is concerned. And once it looks bad on television, a display by a player, well, then I'll throw the book at him.
Yeah, wow, I can't even imagine you doing that. But, Sir Clive, when I asked you about life after cricket, all you told me was that you've been working and you found yourself to help in some way or other with the cricket. But what about your actual personal life? What have you been doing? Have you been being a good dad?
Oh, well, I'm hoping, yes, I would think so. It was good to be even now with the grandchildren.
Right.
I have 6 of them. They can now go to Wimbledon with me and different games that they couldn't go to before. I travel with them, take them to school.
Nice.
Yes, it's been pretty good, and I like football, tennis, and every year for my birthday I would go to the U.S. Open. So I've had a good time. It's no doubt about that. I enjoy myself and make sure that everything is in place.
Yeah, love that. I love that part of it because you've given so much when you represented as a player. You really deserve to enjoy now. So this one, if you could go back in time, right? Is there anything that you would change about how you went about your career?
Not really. I thoroughly enjoyed what I did, but my problem would have been with my children. I remember I came from Australia one evening, and I was being away on tour, and my daughter said, "Listen, Dad, can you take us to school tomorrow?" I said, "No, your mother will. I'm sorry. I'm tired." And I said, "But why do you want me to take you to school?" They said, "So that they will know that I have a dad."
Oh my.
Those things sort of hit you pretty hard. You take things for granted.
Yes.
And so I had to be up early,
Good.
although it was snowing, and take them to school.
Yeah, I know. You miss when you sacrifice for your country and you play sport. You miss a lot of important moments in your kid's life and in your family life. So that
Oh yeah, and things like when they're walking for the first time, or they're going to school in the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember my second daughter. She used to fall. She was very sort of robust little kid, but she used to fall fairly often.
Oh.
So I had to tie a cushion to her bottom so that she didn't hurt herself.
Oh my. Well, now you get to spend time with your grandchildren. So that's a beautiful time for you, Sir Clive.
Yep. And they're doing quite well, I must say.
Yeah. So, this one, as we move away now from that beautiful aspect of your life, Sir Clive, with all the technology that we have now, right? And all the different statistics and all of that, because there's the computer, so there's a lot of technology involved. Would you expect cricket to be better than it was before, or ahead of time?
No, I think they now have analysts and so on. You can now, you can get, if you want to look at somebody, you can get a film of them. It helps you in your your discussion of the team and so on. Yes, you do need statistics, and I think that it helps, and you can get that done quite easily.
Good.
And it helps you when you have team meetings.
Yeah, for sure. You're able to see where you went wrong, how you could improve, and all of that. Now, this is a big question, and I still don't know how I feel about it, but I'd love to know how you feel, right? What are your thoughts on how, players these days are choosing to play franchise cricket as opposed to representing the West Indies?
Yes, I think it's unfortunate for us. The point is, India's got 1.25 billion people. Australia, 50 million. Sri Lanka, millions of people. New Zealand is probably the only team that have the same amount of people as we have. But the point is, they still want to play for their country.
Yes.
And our guys are being paid very well. And I'd like to see them playing for their country. India plays for India. The Pakistanis are playing for Pakistan. Australia playing franchise cricket, but they're still playing for Australia. England the same. We don't have that amount of people that play sport. There's a small cadre of people that play sport. So if we train 20 odd players and we lose 10, it throws us back a lot, in the sense that it takes you about 3 years to get a good test player. So what we were doing is like digging a hole to fill a hole. So the franchise cricket has messed us up, and we must have a chat with the young people to see if they can play both.
Yes.
Because then we will always be at the bottom, because every time we train somebody, they go on to the franchise cricket and we have to start again. So that is a serious blow to our cricket.
Yeah. You know, I've asked so many people these questions because of the show that I sit on. You know, I always want to know how can we get West Indies back to winning. But I feel like you're the person I should have asked this because you've led two teams to winning a World Cup. So, Sir Clive, the question to you, what will it take to get West Indies back to winning ways? How can we win again?
Well, we got to keep our players. We've got to keep our players, and we have to raise the standard of our domestic cricket. If our domestic cricket is weak, our test cricket will be weak. And by playing with professional players, you get better. And playing with players better than yourselves. We have to try and play more 8-team cricket because our domestic cricket at the moment is not that hot. And the 8-team players are the players who are just a stroke away from playing test cricket. So the standard is pretty high. And we had people like Carl Hooper, Brian Lara, Khalid Churan, Lawrence Rowe, they all played 8-team cricket. So we have to get a stronger base. And if we have a stronger base, we will have better cricketers.
Yeah.
And that means that our cricketers, the senior ones, should continue to play in our domestic cricket.
It's now time for my favorite part of today's interview. It's what we call here rapid fire time. So I'll ask you a question and you say the first word or phrase that comes to mind. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Favorite meal?
Oh, I'm a meat man. I'm a pepper pot man.
All right, pepper pot. Favorite cricket ground?
Oh, it's got to be Old Trafford.
Okay.
Or Border.
All right, so you have two. Now this one, I'm excited to find out. Your most embarrassing moment on the field.
Ooh. I've got to think about that one. And I think I was batting somewhere at Lord's, and my trousers split down the middle, and there was a cold wind blowing up there, so I had to run off rather quickly to change my bottom.
Oh no. All right, this one. Which was the toughest team you played, during your time?
Well, Australia would be.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
they used to give us a rough time, but I think during our time we changed that around. And but they're a tough lot.
Yeah. One word to describe that 1975 World Cup win.
Fantastic.
Now, which sport do you enjoy apart from cricket?
I watch a lot of football and tennis.
Okay.
Because don't forget, Old Trafford is near Old Trafford football ground, Manchester United.
Yes.
And we used to get a lot of tickets to go, director's box tickets to go there.
Oh, wow.
And I support City.
Whoa, we have something in common. That's my team too.
Look at that. Excellent.
Good. So we have something in common. Now this one, morning person or night person?
Night, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What word comes to mind when you think about the present West Indies team?
I would say discussion is a word that the more you discuss what you do, then you can display it on the field.
Okay.
I think they need to have more people around there to discuss situations.
Okay.
Because you have this one-day cricket and test cricket, and they're getting confused with it.
Understand.
And if you play too much one-day cricket, you have to adjust to test cricket, which is, as I said, is an examination.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Favorite cricketer of all time?
Sir Garfield Sobers.
Really? Wow. And now,
Yep.
which cricketer, Sir Clive, do you enjoy watching recently?
Oh, there are quite a few actually. Watching some of the Indian guys.
Okay.
There's this fella, the captain Gill, and the Jaiwaz or whatever his name is, a youngster. The opening bat. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
They have some good players.
Oh, you like the Indian team?
Was very impressed with a young man I saw for the West Indies a couple of days ago. Fella Greaves or Graves?
Yeah, Justin Graves.
Yes, I think he's got a lot of talent. He's going to be a very good all-rounder for the future. We have one or two good cricketers, and I want to see them develop. There's an Athenaeus.
Yeah, Alec Athenaeus.
Yeah. I think we just need to get our guys playing a bit more Test cricket and playing against better players.
Okay.
And they will improve.
Yeah, for sure.
And we will then be a handful because we have a fairly good bowling attack, the fast bowling attack. But I think we need to just look at the makeup of our players, and I think that with a little bit more discussion from our elders, they probably can do much better.
Yeah.
But they do have talent, I must say. We're not that bad. It's just that we need to get more togetherness, more professionalism, and that is from our cricket, from school cricket right up.
Yes.
We have to have that strong West Indian blend.
Yeah.
And I hope we can get that back as quickly as possible, and then people will come and watch us, really.
Yeah, for sure. People will definitely turn out once we get back to winning ways. Sir Clive, we're almost to the end of our interview. We're just going to head across now quickly to social media because, that's the way of the world now. And let me see what they've been saying about you and that win. Yeah. Let's see what's up on social media. All right, they're bringing it up. So CrickBuzz, they said,
yeah.
On this day in 1975, Clive Lloyd's blazing 100 lit up Lords as West Indies etched their name in history, winning the first ever Men's Cricket World Cup by toppling Australia. And there's a beautiful picture of you holding the trophy. What do you have to say to that?
Well, yes, it was a wonderful moment because I don't know if you've seen when we won, how the people surged onto the field, and there were thousands of people.
And hugging y'all and everything.
Oh, yes, the West Indians, Derek Murray had the 3 stumps and he had to dodge a few people to keep hold of those stumps. But yes, it was a marvelous moment, memorable, and there will never be another for us.
Yeah, I have a lot of conversations with Derek Murray because he resides in Jamaica as well. And he's a Trini like myself, so we always keep in contact. I love to hear the stories from him.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good. He was there the other night at the gala.
Yes.
With his wife Maureen. Oh, we've been pretty close because he's been my vice captain for most of my captaincy period.
Yeah.
Now he's gone back home, I think.
Okay.
He's not in Jamaica anymore.
Okay. Well, look, news for me. Thank you. One last one, Sir Clive. Just one more on Twitter. Let's see what they said, and then we can wrap. Men's cricket now. They said they posted this, and they had vintage, right? And there's a picture pouring some wine in a glass. West Indies player Ron Headley and Clive Lloyd celebrate in the team dressing room after West Indies won the first Test match between England and West Indies by 158 runs at the Oval, London, 31st July 1973.
Well, that was champagne, my dear. Don't devalue our...
Oh, sorry. Well, I love a good champagne too. So... You seem to be having fun during the cricket. I was wondering if you were just working hard, but you seem to be doing both.
Oh, well, it's the end of the game and we won handsomely.
Yes.
And that was a marvelous occasion too.
All right, champagne, sorry. Well, Sir Clive, I had so much fun talking to you today. I look forward to interviewing you one day in person. Maybe we can meet up.
No problem, my dear. And you don't need to go to that makeup again.
Okay, no more makeup. I'll take it from you. Thank you and take care. Take care of yourself, Sir Clive.
Cheers. And you too. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of In Case You Missed It. Be sure to like, share and comment and let me know how much you enjoyed today's conversation with the one and only Sir Clive Lloyd. Goodbye for now.